Greetings, everyone, and welcome to HERstory, a celebration of women in history. Today, we'll view scenes from the lives of some of America's most influential women. Let's start with the young Connie Chung.
Journalist Connie Chung. Gosh, can you even imagine it? Back to you, Connie. There's so much going on right now. So much happening with the world. So many stories to be told. I mean, we put a man on the moon, for crying out loud. Isn't that incredible? I can't wait until the day where I'm the one telling these stories. HERstory events, politics, you name it.
She doesn't know it yet, but Connie would go on to make history as the first woman to co-anchor the CBS Evening News. Now that's manifestation at its finest. A mind is truly a powerful tool. Speaking of a powerful mind, let's jump into our next story.
I live by what I call P to the fourth: perception, plan, prepare, and persist. In every point in my life when I'm making a decision, I ask myself, how do I perceive myself in this role? What plans do I need to put in place to be prepared? And am I ready to be persistent? These steps have helped me through many choices in my life, but the decision to become Dr. Christine Darden came easily. It's the obvious next step in my career. I've worked and I've studied, and I've done more than enough to secure my position in my program and organization. And you will be damn sure that I will be addressed as Dr. Darden from this day forward.
Christine Darden is a hidden figure. She was about 20 years younger than Mary Jackson, Katherine Johnson, and Dorothy Vaughan. Of the four featured in the 2016 novel by Margaret Lee Shetterly, she is the only one still alive. Dr. Darden went on to make history as the first African American appointed to the highest rank at Langley Research Center. In 1972, a year before Dr. Darden began working as an engineer, another powerful woman was making history. Shirley Chisholm was the first Black woman in Congress. But in January 1972, she made an announcement that would shock the world.
When I watch the news or read the paper each morning, I am disappointed. Every day, it's a new headline somehow worse than the day before. Death, war, corruption, when will it end? Those people at the top, they think of us as a set of statistics. Another person to pay taxes, another person to draft to the war, another child that can go hungry, another mother to work to the bone, another father to wrongly incarcerate. The people up there are disconnected. We are business owners, college students, a child with soccer practice tomorrow, a working mother, a father who is teaching his kid baseball. We can't. I can't. Congress isn't enough. It is an election year. I have a speech to write. I stand before you today as a candidate for the Democratic nomination for the presidency of the United States of America.
Shirley Chisholm ran for the presidency despite hopeless odds, to demonstrate the sheer will and refusal to accept the status quo. Sadly, when it comes to the election of 1972, she did not win. But her campaign, as short as it may have been, inspired the campaigns of dozens of women of color. Her legacy lives on. Speaking of legacy, the next phenomenal woman you'll experience is DMV native Miss Thelma Roan Boyd Nash, an educator, an arts advocate, Ms. Thelma was one of the first Black teachers to aid in the school integration of Prince George's County, one of the most affluent African American majority counties in the United States. There is no doubt that Ms. Thelma's intellect, grace, and ability to capture the hearts of everyone she encountered played a part in this.
These kids need art. I know that math, English, and science, they're all important, but art encourages creativity. It's an outlet. You have a variety of mediums, and these kids need that, a way to truly express themselves. You can't express yourself with an equation. Look, I'm not saying that these kids will grow up and be the next Miles Davis or Nina Simone, but how do you know? How many artists have sat through years and years of classes not feeling connected? You can't expect them to run a mile when you haven't given them an inch. With that said, I strongly encourage us to start doing more for these kids. They are the future.
Ms. Thelma was an incredible woman. She recently passed after living a long and incredibly full life. She contributed to community politics, was an activist, and a huge supporter of the arts. During her life, she was a big supporter of Joe's Movement's Emporium, specifically the Creative Works program. We owe her so much. Ms. Thelma, we love you. Our final woman is known by many, a Mexican artist who left too soon. Frida Kahlo was exceptionally talented and created art until her final days. If only she knew, over 60 years later, her art would still be highly acclaimed.
I was a child who went about in a world of colors. My friends, my companions became women slowly. I became old in instants. I am too young to die, but not old enough to live. A gray space. How ironic is it that my colorful life comes to an end in grayscale? If anything, the colors of my life will persevere. The red of a rose, the yellow of the sun, the warmth of a spring day in my childhood home. The cool winds of winter in New York is the epiphany of grayscale. Buildings and people fade into each other, ever so noisy, but ever so silent. Is that not what art is? Ever so noisy, but ever so quiet? A painting cannot make a sound. It is only pigments and canvas, but it speaks to people. It soothes me to know that it will speak long after I am gone. I hope they hear the blue sob or a black groan, and that white noise does not drown out the passion of the rainbow. Dame ilusión, esperanza, ganas de vivir y no me olvides.
Women in history have accomplished so much. There are so many whose stories have yet to be told. Some stories are being written right now. I would like to take this time to encourage all of the women experiencing this special event to go for your goals. Fulfill your dreams despite the odds, because the world needs you. Thank you for tuning into HERstory, a celebration of women in history. Until next time.